What's happening, Reject Nation? We are going to watch Marvel's What If Season 1, Episode 3 today. I want to thank everyone who has been watching this show with us. It's been an awesome journey so far. Please go ahead, subscribe, and click that notification bell to get notified when our next reaction is up. While you're at it, if you end up enjoying our reaction, please go ahead and hit that like button. As always, full-length watch-alongs where you stick it with the time code or over at our Patreon page. Cover a whole plethora of shows over there. Last but not least, Jindal, thanks for editing down these highlights for us, bud. You make our job easier. Let's swing into action, people.
There was an idea to bring together
to see if they could become something more. I know, I've heard the speech.
Then you realize what's at stake.
Which is why I'm surprised you'd want to bet the future of the Avengers initiative on that.
Okay.
You become a problem I have to deal with. Contrary to your belief, you are not the center of my universe.
I get it.
Hit him.
Oh.
That's lithium dioxide. It's going to take the edge off.
It's not a cure. It just abates the symptoms.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What? Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
He's dead.
Oh, no.
I see the crucible that would transform this collection of individuals into a team of heroes. At least, that's how things played out in one universe. But in this one...
Oh, no.
I may not have been a fan of Tony Stark, but I didn't kill him.
Save your spin for Pierce.
Oh, she's being blamed.
This wasn't me.
I know that.
You know these won't hold me.
Oh, I'm counting on it. Someone inside S.H.I.E.L.D. compromised Stark's antidote. I need someone on the outside to find out who.
So serious.
She's gonna have her Winter Soldier moment. Yeah.
You guys are no fun. Here, mind holding these for me?
Of course, huh?
Of course. Oh, damn. Oh, kicks.
Oh, come on!
Best we can tell, it's extremely powerful and not from around here.
Oh.
Got a perimeter breach. Multiple agents down and, Whoa. I got visual on the intruder.
Oh.
Caucasian male, mid-20s with
Beautiful.
really great hair.
Excuse me?
It's an accurate description.
It's gorgeous.
Just say the word.
Hold your fire. I want to see this.
Is he gonna lift it this time?
Whoa, Coulson wasn't lying about the hair. It's nice. Fury, now or never.
Hold your...
Whoa!
I told you to stand down.
I did. Wasn't me. I didn't shoot.
Drop your weapon!
Didn't shoot. It looked like you shot. I have a feeling it might be Loki.
Martin sticking to his story?
He's pretty bent out of shape in there. Won't talk to anyone.
He'll talk to me.
Nah, Loki would be too obvious. I don't know. Yeah, could be. Maybe this is how he wins New York.
Barton, Coulson, get a medic.
Who did you let in here? No one.
Come on, stay with me.
Wow. Even while rotting, he smells like lavender.
Really?
Still, there's not a lot connecting a billionaire playboy and a S.H.I.E.L.D. assassin. Unless you have any ideas.
There was an idea.
It's like that Captain Marvel scene at the morgue.
Dr. Ross. Not sure if you remember me, but
Hey!
I'm here about Tony Stark. I believe he was murdered using this. You're an expert in the tactical applications of cellular biology.
Why did you really come here?
I need to keep this off S.H.I.E.L.D.'s radar. And you seem to have some experience in that department.
Also to get Betty Ross back.
Whatever it wasn't biological. Your antidote didn't even make it out of the syringe.
Ooh.
You're thinking nanotech?
I'm a biologist, not a ballistics expert. And I believe we're done here.
Aww.
A student must have left it there.
Yeah, student.
Seems our killer is going after the candidates.
If someone wanted to kneecap S.H.I.E.L.D., that's a good place to start. Who else is on the list?
Brucey!
Bruce Banner, you need to get yourself to ground. First, find Banner.
Think I already have.
I'm sorry, but I can't let you in there.
Move, or I'll make you move.
No need for violence. Not gonna work out. For anyone.
They recast Edward Norton.
What?
Even here. Who is the killer? Bifrost.
Oh boy. Whatever it is.
Oh no.
Oh, he brought the Arby. Midgard. There's our boy. Okay, so it's not Loki.
I sort of can't die.
Then I guess you're in luck.
Look alive, people. I want strike teams locked, loaded, and ready to move in.
That is not his voice.
Nope. No, it's not.
I have Bruce Banner in my custody. You need to stand down.
Who the hell opened fire?
Not us, sir. We're clear.
Bruce, it's okay. We're okay, right? I'll get you out of this.
Hulk out.
Come
Hulk out.
Agent Romanoff, I think you might be better off getting out of here.
What's in the box?
Such insolence will not be tolerated, and your planet will be taken as retribution.
Superhero then.
Take it down!
Whoa. Oh, damn.
Wow.
You want some of this? Come on!
Badass this time.
The general isn't the one who started this.
Then who did?
Whoa. Oh, he was shot with something else.
Oh, oh. Don't explode. Don't explode. Don't explode. Ah.
Whoa.
But he can't die. He can't die.
Hulk explosion there.
Declaring war on this planet will not bring your prince back.
Wait. He's not wrong.
The person who killed your brother also killed two of my people. Good people.
You have until the next rise of Midgard's sun to deliver my brother's assassin.
First stop, the public library.
Gotta do some research.
I'm not telling you my password, Romanoff.
Why not?
Because I'm not.
Coulson. Clint was your friend too.
Hashtag Steve.
Wow. Good one, Coulson.
What?
No, nothing. That's great. Thank you.
How casual her delivery is.
Really is a fan of that guy. Janet Van Dyne.
Yeah.
How did a woman who died 2 years ago access the database yesterday?
Oh, is it like Ant-Man or something like that?
Maybe.
Not against me, not against S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh. Is it Hank Pym?
You found me. You know what to do.
Yellow Jacket?
Fury, it's hope! It's all about hope!
Oh, damn, they just killed her off too? All the Avengers should die.
It's hope! It's all about hope!
Hope that.
Sir, I understand that this Prince Loki situation is the very reason you proposed the Avengers Initiative, for a group of remarkable individuals to fight the battles we can't.
I wrote the speech.
There's still one name left, sir. Yours.
Ooh.
I'm not the only Avenger left.
Capitan?
Is that a beeper?
It's all about hope. Either make a pact with a god or deal with the devil.
This is a dark episode, man. The Destroyer.
You got a name, soldier? I'm here to see your balls.
Maybe it is Hank Pym.
It isn't Hank Pym.
Yeah.
You have to come here and stand over her grave.
Oh, don't worry about her. I doubt she'd mind, considering she's dead.
She died because S.H.I.E.L.D. killed her.
Oh, he's Yellow Jacket.
Oh.
She was my daughter. You took everything from me. I wanted you to hurt.
Damn.
Wow.
Everything you ever worked for.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, no.
Hope.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, damn, this guy is brutal.
Yeah.
Yo.
Whoa. Ah!
That's right, he injected himself, yeah.
Wow. No fury? No fury?
You're still pretty spry for a guy with a corner office.
Oh, whoa. Oh, nice.
You're supposed to be a killer? Well, come on then. Kill me.
Oh, no. Don't desecrate.
How are you, moving for it? Like you're everywhere.
Oh. Nice. So he is working. Okay, that's right. He's working with Loki.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dang.
Clever. Even I was fooled. Yep.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What's with the goth kid?
Hello, Trickster God. Hi.
S.H.I.E.L.D. is people. People willing to give their lives for something greater than themselves. Now take your hammer and get off my planet.
About that, we should be allies. You know, I've just had an idea. I was thinking I might extend my stay here on Midgard.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh, jeez.
That's what I'm talking about.
It is with great pride that I stand before you today to announce that in just one day's time, the nations of Earth have put aside their differences and united under my command.
Oh.
Wow. So I have come to help you fulfill your destiny.
Way to go, Loki. Finally coming out on top.
The Avengers were always meant to be more than a team. They were an idea, to believe that in our darkest hour, we will find our heroes.
Hope never dies, as long as someone keeps their good eye on the bigger picture.
Welcome back, Captain.
So, what was the fight?
You're late.
Yeah, it was like a Black Mirror episode.
Yeah. Yeah. Like an almost slashery flavor.
Yeah, it's freaking Pamela Voorhees.
The other S.H.I.E.L.D. agents weren't paying attention.
Yeah.
They were busy. He couldn't swim.
Is there a post-credit scene? Nope. Nope, then there's no point in appreciating the hard efforts of all those acknowledged who worked on this episode.
Nope, don't care.
Don't care, never will.
Who needs people working on stuff like these anyway?
Just give me the next episode.
That's right.
All right, guys.
I actually did hear about this episode because originally they did have Scarlett Johansson in the voice for it. But after the whole like lawsuit debacle, they had to replace her at the last minute because they didn't want. I'm just totally messing with you guys.
I was like, really? They moved that fast? And they got somebody with as much clout as like Belle's got, a pretty good profile in Hollywood. Jeez.
Come on, when she pops up, how does your mind kind of not go there?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's. I was just messing with you guys. That's not true at all.
It was a great match because at the first parts of the episode, I was like, I wonder how this works into all the different conflict that's recently arisen, but it doesn't.
Oh, you mean, did you think it was Scarlett Johansson?
Mm-hmm. I thought it was a good match.
Oh, didn't sound like her enough.
Oh. Well,
not enough. She's got Scarlett Johansson's got that like rasp in her voice.
Yeah, she's got a little vocal fry,
a little baritone kind of. She's got a really. I am Scarlett Johansson.
She's a bass actually.
Yes.
In real life, she just has to pitch it way up for interviews.
I love Colin Jost.
I'm Black Widow. Disney, where's my money?
Nah, man. Yeah, this was an interesting hybrid after coming off of the first episode, which felt very much like a remake of First Avenger, and then this one, and then the second episode really doing its own thing after a very pivotal point from picking up, instead of Peter Quill, they pick up T'Challa. And then here was like a hodgepodge of a whole bunch of like alternate takes, revisiting very familiar moments and then watching the outcome of all that happen. I really enjoyed it. I do think that this has been kind of a common thing my mind has been going to for each one of these episodes. Not so much with episode 2. I only thought episode 2 needed like 5 more minutes. I do think this could have used like an extra 10 minutes to really wring out a little bit more tension and breathing room to feel a little bit more of the suspense of it all. But for the most part, for like a bite-sized dark version of like the death of the Avengers before they even have a chance to assemble, I thought they did a really good job. It made for an interesting watch. Watch her. It made for an interesting watch, but it also lent itself to what I thought to be a rather clever twist on the whole foray here, because yeah, I mean, like when you meet Hank Pym in the first Ant-Man movie, he is very much disturbed by the vanishing of his wife, right? But that's okay. There's Janet is the wife.
Janet is the wife.
Hope is the daughter. Yeah. So Hope dies. So like, yes, Janet's wife, Hope daughter. So is Janet still alive here? Is that what it said on that computer screen?
I couldn't. Yeah, I thought it didn't seem like she had a red X for dead or whatever.
Did I miss a line of dialogue?
Yeah. No, I mean, I took it as yes, maybe she's still out there somewhere in the quantum realm. Maybe that piece of information holds up, and yeah, she's not like confirmed dead.
Well, I mean, like when you meet Hank Pym in Ant-Man, one of the things that you think, at least what I pick up on Michael Douglas's portrayal, is what keeps him not becoming a villain is the fact that he has a daughter he cares about, like there's more to it than that. But yeah, it's like you can totally see that scenario, that if this guy lost hope, the one thing that like was good in his life, a guy who's been robbed of so much and is brilliant inventor and someone who fought for this country, fought for the world, and so if he loses hope, yeah, the dude would crack. The dude would go down this path. And I liked how there was like an actual personal thing imbued in the choice of villainy for this character. It's not just, what if he was bad, that there's a real purpose behind his motives for all of this. So I actually quite appreciated that touch, and I like the commitment to the animation of really making him appear like twisted and crazy and dark circles under his eyes and never sleeping, and you feel like he doesn't eat. And
he's like his whole life has been consumed by this at this point.
Yeah, he's just crazed. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that little touch, and it was there's some deaths in here that definitely surprised me. Hulk exploding.
Oh, dude,
was like, oh damn, they're gonna do that, aren't they? They're gonna do it, aren't they?
Yeah.
They brought back Betty Ross, who is not played, right?
It's not.
Here we got
Liv
the names
Tyler.
here: Stephanie Panicello, definitely not Liv Tyler. It is funny. I thought. I think it would have been a little cool if they made it Edward Norton.
I think it would have been really cool if they made it Edward Norton.
I mean,
because you're just not going to mess up with the continuity.
I mean, Mark Ruffalo is he's lovable. He's a lovable Mark Ruffalo, and he is who we know as the Hulk now. And he's been the Hulk many times now in the MCU. I just think it would have been a little bit more fun, a little bit more tongue in cheek.
cheeky.
Yeah, it would have been more fun if it was Edward Norton. Of like, damn, they did that. I never thought they would have gotten Edward, or at least like make him in the likeness of Edward Norton.
Yeah. Something to make a self-aware nod to that, because it still remains. And with as much as like in these later phases they have gone back to re-legitimize less beloved Marvel films, I am kind of, I get why, because of the rights with Universal, but it is kind of a bummer that they can't do more of at least nodding to that film, because it's, one of the Phase 1 movies.
I mean, this is the one that did the most nodding to it out of any of them.
But it would have been cool still to see Edward Norton,
Like, they're practically... I like how they do recreate the scenes, but then have, like, completely different outcomes because they all just keep dying.
Yeah.
And there's some things in the remake touch that they do enhance more, like Coulson gets to be more of a character here. Even Hawkeye got to be more of a character than he was as his little tiny cameo in the first Thor movie. You got to have, like, more dialogue.
Well, he feels more like an actual member of an actual team in this, whereas, in the Thor movie, he's just kind of like, oh, you're one of Fury's guys, right?
Yeah.
Like everybody else with Coulson, all the agents, like they're kind of what feels like the team in that movie, whereas here it's like he's already got Avengers. Like he's got, hope. At least he had hope.
I mean, this is all building the Avengers to having their showdown with Loki, and you eliminate the Avengers one by one, and then you get this scenario here where you're like, oh, that's kind of neat. Oh, Loki's teaming up with them to take down their okay, but now this opens the door for Loki to conquer, hence the necessity of the Avengers. I kind of wish it just ended on the bleak note.
I know, right?
I would have been happy with that. Like, oh, it's just bad for them, but they give you that hopeful touch at the end with the two caps, Captain America and then Captain Marvel showing up at the end there.
Yeah.
That's what Nick Fury would do. So it's not like it's not in tune with the character to go out and try that.
Yeah.
I just thought it would have been like a real Black Mirror commitment.
It would have
just ends and the world is lost, and this is why we needed the Avengers.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, that like I find it interesting because it almost seems as though part of the motif is that you get all these changes and stuff like that, and they all kind of equal something sinister by the end. And so I guess this one sort of went with, okay, we have a very sinister ending, so now we have to allude to the reverse of that, because like the last one with T'Challa, it's like you kind of cut away to a related but not ultimately to the plot of the episode situation, which turns into you're like, oh, this is gonna turn out worse than you expected. Whereas here, I mean, it seems like this story could easily continue, and I don't know, I've heard tell that certain characters will recur over this season, and so I'd be curious to see if they come back to this ever at any point, because like they do just leave the door wide open for Loki to take over. And like I enjoyed the weird like Shining motif of doing like Monday, Tuesday, and having it almost be sort of like a slasher scenario where someone's picking off all the Avengers before we can even get the team, and then when Loki shows up, there's a bit of a subversion where it's like, oh, he's not just here to conquer, he's actually here to avenge and seek retribution for Thor's death, which is just like an interesting flavorful twist on his character. Not to say that he's like totally cool with Thor in this universe, but still it hints at slightly different character ties, and you get the sense that every time we check into one of these parallel stories, the characters do have slightly different sensibilities, and that helps it to feel more alive and whatnot.
It is weird because you don't know what happened. Like, you think Odin would step in or something like that. I'm trying to recall the first Thor movie, but Loki was happy with Thor being banished. Yeah,
absolutely. So for him to show up with all the force of Asgard, unless it's solely a manipulation.
I mean, it must have been a manipulative tactic. Like, oh, now that he's dead, I can unite and prove myself as leader in this scenario. But I don't feel like Odin would allow for. Wait, is Thor 1 when Odin goes to sleep, or is that Thor of the Dark World?
I thought that was Dark World.
That's Dark World, right?
Because Thor, I'm
not gonna lie, guys. I've only seen the Dark World one time.
Oh,
all this time,
dude! It's the one to catch up on now.
That's
now in the MCU.
It's the only one I've seen once.
Yeah.
Every other one I've seen at least a couple of times. But yeah. I think it's the okay, because Odin banishes him in the first Thor movie. But I mean, I don't know.
Because doesn't Thor gain Odin's approval by the end of the first movie? Isn't that part of his arc?
Oh, yeah. He has to learn how to be worthy of the hammer.
Yeah. And we don't even have any of that to deal with in this.
Yeah, so I was... because I remember in Thor, after he fails to pick up the hammer, Loki visits him when he is held in their little Shield, New Mexico jail.
Containment.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, this was a fun one. I do think I do prefer the second one still overall.
My favorite, yeah.
Second one's still my favorite. I love more of the concepts of what they're doing, and it is exciting to see, like, oh, you got Nick Fury here, who, Sam Jackson really gets a chance to shine in. And it is cool that your story about Avengers being offed, Nick Fury is the lead of it. Because he really this really is his episode as protagonist.
Yeah.
So that was cool, and like Black Widow's like main supporting character along with Coulson. So it was neat to like the Avengers who are usually front and center as Avengers, and then these guys who are usually like people in the back, get to be the front and center for the episode. So I really liked that touch, and I did like how it progressively got darker. But I wasn't ever really quite emotionally caught up in it the way how I would like to have been. Like, again, it was another situation where I found myself like having fun, feeling that in a genuine way, admiring it, and really appreciating what they're doing and the concepts, but still in the feels, I'm not like really caught up in the suspense so much, but more in like it's kind of like my heart's a little not as a tad detached, but my mind is really like interested in what's going on. I don't know how to explain this. This is a whole process of like thought, logic versus emotion that I'm trying to explain to you guys.
Yeah. I think I can kind of pick up what you're getting at there, because there is a certain element of like it's all like these 3 episodes have each been really fun to see what the next development's going to be, what the next twist on the familiar is going to be, what the next curveball is going to be. But yeah, like here watching this episode, it didn't really feel like a big oh damn moment when you realize or it's revealed who's behind all this and why. It feels just kind of like a development of the plot.
Yeah.
And so like I feel like
they just move so fast.
And that's the thing, is like there is an element of punch and suspense that leads to the punch that I think maybe gets sort of diluted by having them feel so fast paced and having to cram so much into a smaller window of time. They feel more like a comic strip or something that's not quite as like emotionally substantial. Not that these have to be. Like, I'm curious to know what their desired effect on the audience is for this.
Like, argumentative wise, that might just be what they want to achieve, is just these like bite-sized like comics,
these quirky side stories.
I don't know. I just thought that like the episode 2 reached another height, so I kind of would expect it to still reach that, and like that. I really feel like we're also kind of giving it a pass because of that fact. But at the same time, like I've seen some pretty damn great, gripping animated shows that are usually more serial. It's not like this where everything's very. I know like some of these are bound to tie in or whatever. or become more connective to the live action in some way. And I'm hearing Captain Carter's supposed to return at some point, and that Chadwick Boseman filmed
4
episodes, but it might not be the same T'Challa.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this Nick Fury and Hawkeye is not the same as the one that we saw at the end of Captain Carter episode, because otherwise they would have called him Captain Carter.
Yeah, unless she just died and then
there wouldn't be Steve Rogers in the ice.
Yeah,
if that was the case, because
it wouldn't be the same universe.
Yeah, so this is a different version of them, but they still got Sam Jackson and Jeremy Renner to appear in the first episode. I think that was them, but they still got them to appear in there.
Mm-hmm.
So while we're hearing that, oh no, this actor signed on for this many episodes, they might not be the same. I do think that is a bit of a every episode has so far been like interesting and fascinating, and there's concepts about it that I'm impressed by and choices I really admire a lot. I even liked when freaking Nick Fury was taunting Hank Pym at the end and fighting with him, and there's one line because he picks up this vial, and I was like, oh, did he inject himself with whatever the vial is? And that's why he's got the strength. And it took me a while to be like, oh no, it's Loki. It took me a while before. I mean, obviously picked up on it before the clear revelation. But there is a line that he has in there where Nick Fury says, like, I don't care about any of them. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Like, that's a weird thing for you to say.
That's a weird character choice. And then that was a hint that is not Nick Fury, that's Loki.
That's a
so, yeah, like little things like that. And there's like Easter eggs sprinkled in throughout. And it often has you like thinking of the live action movie. So I prefer something more like episode 2 instead of this had kind of the hybrid touch of like episode 1 is if you're a big fan of that live action movie, you're going to love this. And this is like, if you're a fan of the live actions, you'll appreciate this. And I'm kind of, I'm not even sure what it is I'm really wanting from this. Not even sure what it is I want, because this essentially did what I want What If to do. And I like the episode quite a bit. I guess that's just what it comes down to. I just want to feel a little bit more, more the emotional shit. Like feel the loss of these people instead of just go, interesting.
Yeah, because from what we know about them, that should register as a pretty grave course change, you know?
Yeah.
And from here, like, again, because the episode's moving so quick.
And it's so short, yeah.
Yeah, it's like you don't have time, I guess, to fully process or latch on to the loss of all of the Avengers.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it's like, I feel like if I'm looking at this just through the scope of, it's an animated series, it's a cartoon, it has, like, all the desired flavors and beats and stuff that a cartoon ought to have, and I think what I'm starting to wonder is, like, this to me is sort of caught in the middle, because you have so much stuff that we've seen for decades now that's been, big live action, and it has a certain level of resonance that comes with it. And now here, like, I love the transcription of everything to this medium, but at the same time, I've been conditioned to expect a certain level of, like emotional weight or a heavy toll when losses take place. And this series exists in a weird space where, like these are all hypotheticals or they're alternate universes. And so I feel like that can undercut stakes to begin with to some extent, and so each of these episodes individually needs to raise those stakes and get you sort of in that, like, oh god, like how's Nick Fury gonna get out of this, who's doing this, and I feel like that would be the gripe I have most, that's usually sort of touched upon by us going, this needs to be a little longer. Is like, I might, things feel more like developments than revelations or twists or big, like, oh no, know.
I mean, it did have me going on to give it credit. I was like, I have no idea who this killer is. I have no idea who's doing it. I can't figure it out. And then I thought the reveal was smart. But that's what I mean. It's like, I think they got a really good handle on plot and plot beats. It's just more of the nuance underneath, which I know a lot of people disagree with us on. And that's completely fine. If you feel for it, then fuck, I wish I had your feelings.
Yeah. I mean, it's still fun and episodic. And it's like, if this isn't intended to make you be like, oh no, when the, whatever crescendo of peril happens and it is supposed to be a little bit lighter, then I think they're nailing that.
Yeah. It's just, I think especially if you're getting like the actual actors to appear in here. Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's a little distracting when it's obviously not them.
Yes.
Yeah. Certain voices.
Waiting
we were
for an
like-
episode where that doesn't happen.
Yeah, because you start getting like, what? I mean, I don't know how that is. For some people, it might not bother them, but for it starts becoming a game of, is that them? Is that not them? You know?
Yeah, because when you have so many returners, so it's not like the special thing stops being that you got people to return. The special thing starts being who didn't.
Yeah.
You know?
But yeah, that's just opinion. Overall, I mean, I'd still give this episode like a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I still enjoy myself.
I still enjoyed it quite a bit.
Thought it was a solid episode, and it still makes me want to continue. You know.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, leave your thoughts down below. Subscribe, click that bell, hit that like button. What did you think about the episode? Hey, we'll catch you guys soon.